Hello, girls and guys, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to RoboThoughts, the most exciting series on Python coding on Jetson Nano, a zero to hero series. Alright, guys, let's see how far we had come. We reached lesson number 27 today. Alright, so I'm sure you guys are getting pretty much hands on, getting your hands dirty into stroking your keyboard into Linux terminal and logged into Jetson Nano remotely and trying to play around with stuff with whatever you learned so far. Alright, in lesson number 27 today I'm going to show you what is casting in Python. Right? Alright, so let me give you some example. Let me try to explain as best as possible I can. Many a times you might land up in a situation while programming in Python. You might want to specify a type on a variable. Okay, specify a type on a variable. So I showed you several examples of types and variables in the previous lessons, right? Excuse me. So you might want to specify a type onto a variable while designing your own code for a specific application. Now this can be done with a method called casting. Okay, Python is an object-oriented language, as you all know, and as such it uses cases to define any kind of data types, which includes a primitive types. Okay, right? Now there are basically the way the casting is done in Python is by using the functions, the main three functions, that is your int, float and strings. Okay, now I'm going to show you examples of all these three, how, like using int and float and strings, all the three, how to create a casting method. All right, so let's jump into the terminal. I am already logged in. I hope you guys are logged in already. All right, guys, so let me create a new file, a Python file in Nano IDE. Remember, guys, Nano is the IDE which we are using, which we install into Jetson Nano in the beginning of this series, right? So let's create a Python file. How do we create? Nano casting.py. Okay, there you go. I created a new file. Now let me give some interesting example. Okay, let me give an example. Say let's start with integer as an example, right? In int, using int, how do you do a casting? Let's say x equal to int and give any value, say 1. All right, and then y equal to int and any value, say 2.8. okay, z equal to int, and then I am going to put this in a double quote. There is a reason, you will get to know now. 3, close the double quote. Okay, now let's say print x, print y, and then print z. Okay, now let's say, how do we save this file? Control O, enter, Control X. Right. All right, guys, now let's execute this Python file and see the output. You can see how the casting has been done using an integer function. All right, Python 3 casting.py. Hold your breath. Boom. Can you see that? 1, 2, 3. In this case, though the integer value I gave it as a 1, as x and y as 2.8, which is actually a float value, but since I defined as int, it will just show 2 as an output. I hope you are getting this right. Alright guys, this is a pretty short and sweet example of casting. I'm going to show you a couple of more examples, and maybe what we could also do is let's create an example of float. So let me share my screen. Clear. Let me open the same file which we created, nano casting.py. Okay, let me delete this program. Now let's use float function to show you how the casting works. Okay, x equal to float. I'll give, just give any kind of value. Let's say, one second guys, let's say float 1. Okay, ideally x is supposed to be 1.0, right, because it should be a float value, but let's see what happens. Say y equal to float 2.8. okay, let's say z equal to float, let me give a double quote, say 5, close the double quote, and then let's say another example, say one more, say float w is equal to float, one more value. I would like to add a decimal value within the double quote, say 5.4. okay. Now let's say print x, print y, print z, and then print w. Let's see guys what output we would get using a float in casting. Control O, enter, Control X. Alright, now let me execute the Python file. Python 3 casting.py. Oops, syntax error. Right, let me see what mistake I did. Nano casting.py. What did I do? X equal to float. Oh man. Alright, I think, hold on a second. By mistake, I hope you noticed this mistake. Oh, there you go. Can you see that even a simple syntax mistakes, your program will throw up error. It doesn't execute, right? Alright, let me save this. Control O, enter, Control X. Now let me execute this program. Python 3 casting.py. Boom, there you go. Can you see that guys? I'd been using float as a casting, right? Now that's why all the values which I gave, like 1, 2.8, 3, 4.2 or 5.4 and 5, it shows up as a float with a decimal value, right? So that's the way you can declare float as a function at the beginning. So this is how the casting has been done. Alright guys, and I hope you understand how the casting works with two different examples I gave you with integer and float. And maybe I could give you one more example, but it's pretty much straightforward. You can use integer, float, and whatnot. It's going to be pretty easy. Thanks for watching guys, and I'm going to be back in the next video soon. Do please subscribe, do please give a like, and do please leave a comment, and that's gonna motivate me to answer all your queries. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.